Hello, as you can probably tell, this is a video response to Nearing Exodus rant about netdeckers. I do agree with what he is actually saying. People, took a look into it after I started hearing about all these rants on net decking, and by what I can gather, by what I saw on forums and like other people's videos, um, the game of Yu-Gi-Oh was created not only after the anime because it's an awesome anime, we can all agree on that, but it was also created to like help expand people's minds. In my opinion, I've I've got a hell of a lot of cards. I go through my cards a lot of the time, and I just try and build strategies. I've got an entire folder on my computer after different combos that might work, so I can reference them later in case I want to build a new deck. Granted, if you're new to a type of deck, I have put this on a comment on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fanic Facebook site. Go join them because they are awesome. I put it on a comment. Net decking can be okay in certain circumstances, such as, say, like you're so used to using beatdown or aggro decks. Then if you're changing your deck, going, a burn deck might seem interesting, but what do I put in it? You can, yeah, I'd say go net deck, because it gives you a good idea of the support cards you need and everything else like that. But just don't copy the deck card for card. Just work on it a little bit. Like get the basic cards you need, the fundamental cards, or even Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia will have a list of recommended cards for this deck. So just like look on there or look around, find the recommended cards that you like the sound of and which might benefit you, and put them in, and just go with your imagination from there. And about the net deckers, or the meta player net deckers, more specifically, I do agree with you, Neo. It is stupid that the amount of people that go online, go, right, I want to play Black Wings. Right, here's a deck that top 4 at the Nationals, or top 8 something at the, or topped at the Nationals. I'm going to copy this deck and take it to my locals so I can I'm showing them what good players I am. No. At the moment, I'm working on deck based around these three: Banisher the Radiant, Jogan the Spiritualist, and Skill Drain. All of them simultaneously in the deck. It's a little bit more awkward considering Skill Drain will negate these two, and these two are fundamental to the deck. It's kind of like anti-meta, but I'm modifying it a lot more because anti-meta sheerly revolves around destroying your opponent's abilities and removing them from play. This one's more of a I'm going to stop you from doing anything at all. So playing magic cards, playing trap cards, using monster effects. And once you've used them, they are gone. No Pot of Avarice, no Monster Reborns can save you. But I know there are loads. I know there is anti-meta out there which can stop the special summoning and everything else like that. But there are many different forms of meta, in my opinion. Like meta decks, by what I've learned so far, are types of decks which everyone is playing. So technically, since there are a lot of duelists out there using using anti-meta decks, doesn't that technically make it a meta? I've been told by quite a few people that meta decks are decks that people, well, a lot of duelists use. And by what I've seen on videos, I've browsed YouTube for quite some time. Like I browsed it for near enough an entire day at one point, and I saw about over 100 videos by different people, all showing anti-meta decks. So, I saw about the same amount of people with Black Wings, Sabers, Gladiator Beasts, you name it. If it's a meta deck that most common people use, I probably saw a video on it. But technically, since there's a lot of people playing anti-meta, in my opinion, that's becoming a meta as well because loads of people are playing it. But I do agree with what he is saying. The game of Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion, was created to expand people's minds, get them to use their imagination. So instead of, where'd it go? I had it a second ago, I lost it. Oh, there it is. My most recent deck, the Ojamas, is, well, I wouldn't say it's meta. I mean, I think I said in one video, it is kind of meta. But the more people that start playing Ojamas, the more meta it's going to be. And unfortunately, you cannot help but be called a net decker when you use Ojamas. Because the only support cards you've got are Ojama Red, Ojama Country, Ojama Black, Yellow and Green, OjamaDaBomb, the Ojama King and Knight. And you've got a load of other random cards in these decks. Well, but you haven't got a load of them. You've got Ojama Hurricane as well, Muscle. You've only got a few cards that run support for Ojama decks, including Big March of Animals, Hand Destruction, stuff like that, Morphing Jar. So there are certain decks which cannot help but be net decks because they don't have the support. Ojamas don't have the support. Like I bet you when the Zeal monsters come out, they're not. I mean, granted, they probably put a whole lot of support cards in there, but not many people are going to refer back to the old way, like the old cards and that for support. I mean, in my one of my recent decks, I had to look all the way back to the very first like series of cards to see if I can find support cards. I mean, I even tried it with the Ojamas, and there are none. I mean, the only card I can find to help me run the Ojama cards so far, which is good, is the cards I got in there. If I wanted to turn it into Synchro, I could probably put in League of Uniform Norman Culture and probably Lord of Normal and Junk Synchron, because Junk Synchron allows you to return a level 2 or lower monster, a normal monster, I think, or level 2 or lower, level 2 or lower from your graveyard back to the field. Those are the only two other support cards I've really found that can be helpful to my deck. But with other ones such as the X-Sabers, if you're going to run X-Sabers, add some imagination. I mean, and Glad Beasts. If you're going to run Glad Beasts, run some imagination in there. Put some cards you wouldn't find in a Glad Beast deck. I mean, I faced one guy with Glad Beast, and all I saw was Glad Beast after Glad Beast after Glad Beast after Glad Beast. No other type of card. I mean, it would be nice for once. I mean, I know Scapegoat's done it. He technically net decks, as he has said in a comment to this video. He net decks, but he modifies them immensely. It's just so he can get the base structure, then he mixes it all around. I mean, seriously, I can't even keep up with him half the time. There are quite a few duelists out there that build their own decks who I am happy to know. Like Kalo Shades, Emma Blue Eyes 10, Dark Magician, well, the person I'm video responding to, Assault Dogma, Scapegoat User, Max Warrior, and a couple of others at my locals. I am happy to know you guys because you all use original decks. But with people that go online, like quite a few people at the tourneys do, and net deck and change a couple of cards, go, oh yeah, I came up with something myself. Until I see a fully blown original deck, even if it's net deck but you fully modified it, I will just still say you net decked. I mean, getting net decking, finding a structure, and customizing it, that is an idea for a nice deck. And it's also not net decking particularly because you're not copying the deck. But net decking, copying it card for card, then like playing it and saying, oh yeah, I built this deck, not the best idea. Because I know a lot of duelists out there believe in original decks, and you're not going to get any respect. I'm probably going to end this because, well, I don't want to go on for too long because I'll get annoyed. So, catch you later, Neo. Nice video.